morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday. My name's Joanne. I am your host today for Wake Up Legendary. I hope everyone has had their coffee, grabbing their coffee, and ready for another amazing guest. I'm super pumped for you all to meet her. Before I bring her on, if you are new to the show and would like to get a text notification of every time we go live, all you need to do is text the letters WUL to 813-296-8553. We will send you a text message, usually within a couple minutes of once we hit that live button, with a direct link right to our Facebook stream. All right, so if you want to get that text message in the morning, just text those letters right there on the screen. All right, without further ado, please welcome Melinda to the show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Where are you joining us from today?
I'm calling from New Brunswick, Canada.
All right. Canadian. I love it. And the title is full-time teacher. You're a middle school teacher. I think that's the hardest age ever, in my own opinion.
No, they're not so bad. Actually, I've always heard that. Last year was my first year in middle school, but they're like young enough where they still like their teacher, you know?
Yeah.
And but they're not anyway. I've really enjoyed teaching them. I like them when I'm teaching them. I like them just hanging out with them at recess, or just they're kind of fun. So it's been a lot better than I expected going into it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, share with all of us how you found Legendary.
Okay, well, I feel like my journey is like a little bit different than a lot of the journeys that I've seen, because I wasn't actually actively seeking a way to make extra money, because I'd already found lots of extra streams of income through side hustles prior to finding Legendary. I rent rooms to students. I run a side business. I tutor. I work at a restaurant sometimes on the weekends. I was like doing buy and sell in marketplace. I've just been a side hustle queen for a very long time.
Oh, I love that. Side hustle queen. Yeah, I did read you've done a variety of things.
Yeah, I've done so many things.
You've done it all.
Yeah. So it's funny because when I was asked to be on the show, first I got up off the floor. It stressed me out very much. But when I was asked to be on the show, I was like, where did this really start? And so I just started scrolling back through like the 30,000 pictures I have on my phone now. And I went back to March 27th was the first screenshot. And the first screenshot that I found was just like remote jobs. So I think that it wasn't so much of like a money thing that I was searching for, because I was already bringing in like probably close to 5,000 a month just with side hustles. It was more of like a time, like I was searching for a way that I can make extra money without requiring so much of my time, because the side hustles that I had done all required me to be home. And I was sort of tied to like this location. If I went on a trip, I didn't get paid, So I always thought it'd be like so great to be able to go and see the world and like be paid while I'm there. And so that was March 27th. And I wasn't like one of these people that sat on it for months. Like I literally was like, oh, that's cool. Screenshot. 2 days later, saw the video of Dave and like bought the course. And 7 days later, started my Instagram page. So it was very, very quick.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Do you think the speed involved was because of your history with different side hustles?
Yeah,
this is how it rolls, and let's go.
Yeah, for me, it was like I didn't need anyone to also convince me that it was real, because I knew affiliate marketing was real, because 2 years ago I made one single YouTube video and with 0 followers and made $500 on one high commission sale. So like I didn't need to like watch it for like weeks or months and stuff and be like, oh, I think it's a scam. It's like, whatever, if I'm scammed out of $7, like I'll change my credit card number, like whatever. You know what I mean? It's $7. It wasn't like I didn't need anyone to convince me that it was true. I already knew that it was real. So I was like, hey, if I can make $500 with 0 training, what if I spend $7? Imagine how much more money that I can make if I take like the time to invest in myself and invest in my learning. And so it was just quick. I don't really need people to convince me to do stuff. If I think something's a good idea, I just roll with it.
Right. And do you think, I think like it also, you already had the confidence in yourself. Like you weren't like sitting there wondering, can I do this?
Yeah. Yeah,
what will people think? Like, it sounds, speak on that. Like, it sounds like you weren't in that space either. You didn't have
no,
that.
it really wasn't like I wasn't like used to being online per se. Like I didn't have this big social media presence. I just, in terms of like, oh, can I make money? Like it was like maybe I feel like it was about 6 years ago where I just, I was in that place where I had a bunch of debt. I just had like one income. I was like paying my bills, but not really thriving. And it's like, you're kind of like waiting around, like, oh, I just need a second income. So in my brain, I'm like, oh, I just need to get married, and then all my problems will be solved. But like, it's just not the reality. So I was like, what am I waiting for? I shouldn't be waiting for someone else to give me another income. I just need to like get it myself. And so that sort of started this whole side hustle journey. And I think going from that person to the person that I am now, even like pre-legendary, I feel like knowing that I was able to do that by myself, I like saved enough money for a down payment for a house by myself. And I was able to do all these things. Just like I grew so much more confident as a person, knowing that I don't need anyone to, provide for me in such a way. It's more of like, I was able to do this by myself. So when I saw this come up, I'm like, okay, that's just like one more thing to add to my arsenal of things that I could do,
Yeah. And you took control.
Yeah.
It wasn't there. No one else was going to have control over your life, your future, or have any excuses of having basically, there's a lot of excuses out there. Like, I need this, things that we can't control. And you're like, nope, I have full control.
Yeah, exactly.
How long have you ever struggled with that?
Well, I think, I mean, I don't know that I don't think I ever really struggled with that. I think it's prior to me, like taking a step on this journey to more of like financial freedom all these years ago. It was just so easy to be in that position of like, oh, poor me. Like, I will never get anywhere unless this happens or that happens. But it's like, I feel like in that moment, and I'm not saying from then till now, like I've just been all on rainbows and butterflies. Like there's obviously been moments, but I think from that point forward, I just like kept, every day was like just a little bit better, like every day I thought I can do this. And anyway, all these years later, and here I am. I own my own house and I make lots of money in a month from side hustling still. So it's pretty awesome.
Okay, so we have our full-time teacher.
Yeah.
We have all the different side hustles.
Yeah.
How are we juggling this? What's our schedule like?
It's a
Let's
lot.
answer that question for someone listening right now that's sitting there telling themselves, I don't have enough time.
I mean, so schedule, right now I'm on summer vacation, which is really amazing. However, because I am this side hustle queen, I'm just like, why not double dip on the income? So I'm actually working at a daycare full time for the remainder of the summer.
Wow.
So I feel like I can kind of say what my schedule is. Like I just get up, go to work, but even while I'm at work, I'm always thinking like, okay, I need my next like piece of content, because I mean, it really is true. Once you get the first like part of the business set up, like all the automation, it really is content, and your content is like 7-second video. So it's not really hard as much as it's like, okay, what can I put out there today? And I'm just going to throw this in right here, is that it used to be a lot harder, like even to think about what kind of things to put out there. But once I sort of figured out who I was talking to and like I figured out my actual audience, that it's just so much quicker. Okay. So but if I was talking to myself, say 4 months ago when I was just starting and I couldn't really figure this out, this would be like my schedule. So I'd go to work and I'd work 8 to 4, and then I usually tutored for probably 2 hours. And I was also I was running a craft business, so I'd also have these things to do in the evenings.
Oh my goodness, we're adding another one I didn't even know about, guys. I love it.
I know. I have no fear of dabbling. Like 3 years ago, I actually quit my job. I bought a house and quit my job in the same year because I was like, I'm just kind of ready to try something different. And so I just quit teaching and I started a craft business, which has been really fun. But I realized that I missed my friends, so I went back to work. Anyway, so in terms of like finding the time to make content, I usually would run to my car at recess. That was a good one. Or at like lunch, I just go for a drive, and sometimes you just take a little video of yourself with your Tim's cup, like just drinking your coffee, and it's content. Like, I think we make it so difficult and think that we need to have these like huge scripts, and it's really not that hard. It's just things happen, things pop up, funny things, and some things that I think are hilarious, and I make a piece of content no one even laughs at, and I don't even care because whatever, it's just content. I just put it out there anyway.
Yeah, you don't have it's I love that advice. Like, you just don't attach any emotional piece,
Yeah,
or this is the video that's going to change it, with it. You're like, it's one of many.
it's just one of many, and
One of many. Just throw it out there and move on to the next.
and I think that, in the beginning, you're so scared of people judging you, but the reality is that we put so much like thought into that when no one cares. Like, you think that people think about you, but they really don't. And I'm not saying that in a sad way, like, but the reality is that people care so much about themselves. They don't really care about your content, and they're not going to think about it once they scroll past. So whatever. If it provided me with a little bit of humor, well, it was totally worth it. So.
Yeah. So what was your biggest roadblock with starting from scratch, day zero, brand new account? You shared that you didn't have your audience dialed in, which I think is a big problem. People are sometimes a little too focused on the result that they think they have to share in their content, and not connection.
Yeah.
So share with us that content journey you went through from the start to where you are now of defining that audience.
Well, I think for me, the hardest thing was like finding my story, because in the beginning, the people that I watched the most were these like really high earning affiliates, and they were making, I don't know, 50 grand to 100 grand a month. And I was like, okay, well, they're doing really well, so I need to do what they're doing. So I'd watch their content and be like, okay, I'm going to do all these videos talking about, you want to quit your 9 to 5. Well, but I'd make these videos and like, I'm like hiding in the corner because I'm working a 9 to 5, first of all, and I don't even want to quit. Like, I already quit, and I went back, not because I ran out of money. I went back because I was like bored by myself at home. Mm-hmm. And, I'm surrounded by all these people who are teachers who love their jobs. Some teachers are tired and burned out, but not all of them are. And right. I'm sitting here making these videos about like, hey, you want to quit your 9 to 5? And then it's like my principal and my boss is like across the hall, and I'm sitting here bashing the 9 to 5. But it just wasn't like true to myself, or like I'm making these videos about wanting to be home with your family. It was like, my dog lives with me. Like, my dog's fine at home by herself, I think that when you're trying so hard to make stuff that is not like authentic to yourself, my story didn't match that story. I'm not a single mom. I don't have a family at home. Mm-hmm. Like, I was trying to make these videos that didn't make sense to me. And, once I got past that and I'm like, wait, who am I? Who am I talking to? Mm-hmm. It really changed everything. And then I thought, well, how about the person that actually has a 9 to 5 and really does love their job? Like, there are people out there who went to school for 8 years to be an engineer, and they love their job. And that is amazing. Not everyone's looking to quit their job. And I'm pushing out this content about like, hey, don't you want to quit your job? It's like, no, well, not everyone's like that. And I didn't feel like authentic in making those videos. I didn't feel true to myself. And I think that it comes across like that. Like, the person watching your video knows if what you're saying is true.
They do. They can smell it, guys. They can smell it if it's not authentic.
So it didn't like flow with who I am. It didn't make sense. And those videos are amazing. And there are people watching those videos that want that. And that is fantastic. There's a reason why these people have done so well, is because they have an audience of people that, do have kids at home that want to stay with their kids. But I have friends that when they drop their kids off at daycare, they dance to the car. Like, they're very happy to pick up their kids after work. And that's amazing. So everyone has an audience, right? Like, there is someone out there who's going to relate to you. And there's like the amount of people that have talked to me and been like, oh yeah, I love that. Why can't you have both? Why can't you have this job that you love and also, have 5 to 10 grand coming in a month on the side? So that when you do get those vacations, you do get those holidays, you can go and do whatever, whatever you want. If you want to spend $1,000 a week at Costco, go for it. And I think that's the second that I realized that, who I was talking to, it really did change. I mean, very closely after I was able to get 2 high ticket commissions, like within 2 weeks. So I think that people notice, people realize who, if you're being authentic to who you are, and are you talking about what you really believe in.
And isn't it just more fun?
Oh, it's so much more fun. Yeah, it really is, because you're not making content in the closet, it's like
it's harder that way. It's so much more weight on your shoulders.
Yeah.
It's harder to show up regularly. It's harder to show up consistently. It's like walking into a party in real life with people that are not your friends. And
Yes,
you're going to do it over and over and over and trying to make these people your friends, and you don't even want to be their friend.
No.
You got to go to a different party. You got to find your friends at a different event.
Yeah, there's so many
people at, right?
Yeah, there's so many people out there like you. And it doesn't matter what your story is. Like I'm in a mentorship group, and one girl, she's a high school dropout. And the second she figured out that there are people out there just like her, she starts getting commissions every day versus making this content that it's like, you feel like you don't have a story, but it's like everyone has a story. Even if, have I gone through a lot of hardship in my life? No, like I don't have crying videos on my phone. It's just like,
right.
But there are people out there just like me who, their lives are pretty good. But wouldn't it be amazing to have an extra 5 to 10K a month? And anyway, that's kind of where I feel like once I figure that out, which it wasn't even that long ago, it probably took me 200 videos to figure that one out. But once I figured that out, everything's just smooth. It's just so much more fun.
It is. It's so much easier to show up.
Yeah.
And then you get more creative.
Yes.
And you're really showing up to your audience, and you're having fun, and you're enjoying it, and you don't look like anybody else. You don't sound like anyone else, because you're just you making online friends.
Right. And honestly, from that point forward, like when I sort of made that shift, I feel like I've had so many more messages, and a lot of them are messages from other affiliates, but they're just, those conversations are just so fun to have. Like there's just people are like, oh wow, like how are you doing this? And I've just had so much fun, so much more fun with it from that point forward. And that's only been like a month. So it's not like, I had this great epiphany like 2 days in.
Yeah. And it's so a few really big nuggets. There were a lot that were dropped here, guys. So definitely go back and rewatch. In the nicest way possible, none of us are a unicorn. We're not the only person with our audiences out there. There's other people that will relate to us.
There's someone out there just like you. And a lot of the times, what you hear so much is like, oh, I'm in TikTok jail. I only get 200 followers, 200 views on every video. Well, guess what? That's 200 views. There's 200 people. Of those 200 people, even if 2 of those people saw what you have and they like what you have to offer, they're not necessarily going to go buy from you, but like, it's just, it's like, if I can even help one person in my video, well, my video was worth it. And there's someone out there. You don't know who they are. There's someone out there who wants to see what you have to offer. Even if you feel like, you're getting only 200 views on every video, even if there's 10 people in each of those videos that are like, oh, wow, that really like affected me. They're not necessarily going to comment. They're not necessarily going to save it, like it, and, send you messages and tell you changed their life. But just think of it that way. Like you just keep putting out the content. You have no idea whose life you're impacting just by those short little 7 to 10 second snippets.
Yeah, so true. And then don't get hung up on the number either at all.
Yeah.
Use it, put on your marketing glasses, and get out the emotional piece of it. And let's look at what is in those videos. What can you try new? What can be different? How can you add more value? How can you add more of your personality? How can you make it clear who your audience is that you're talking to?
Yeah. And the other thing that really helped me put this into perspective is if, let's just say someone asked me to go speak in front of 200 people. Well, wouldn't I be nervous? Of course I would, because that's 200 people watching you and watching what you have to offer. That's a lot of people. We get upset when our videos don't have 30,000 watches. It's like, yeah, but 200 people. Even if you were asked to speak in front of 30 people, you'd be worked up, especially if you didn't do it for a living. So I used to let views really bother me more in the beginning, but now I'm like, whatever. Sometimes it's literally just a glitch and you only get 200 views on a video you thought would be epic. So
Right.
I don't care. I used to care, and I'm not saying I never care. Sometimes I'm like, wow. But 99% of the time, I'm just like, just put out the next piece, you know?
Yeah. You got to just hit post and move on, and then look
Yeah, post
at
move
over
on.
time
What
what
works
are
well,
people watching,
what's
what is
working.
getting pushed out further, and then make some adjustments.
Yeah.
But don't sit there for 3 months making the exact same video that you're just copying from someone else, not understanding the strategy behind it, not in the same stage of your business as that person, and then going, it's not working for me. Well,
Right.
we got to
So
interject
easy to
you,
do.
right? We got to make some changes.
Right. And that was the biggest thing that I did. I figured out I'm not talking to the person that is burnt out on their 9 to 5. I'm talking to the person that is actually not doing so bad, but they just don't have money left over after their paycheck. And once I figured that out, it changed. It's not like the next day I made money. It was more like it just changed how I felt about what I was doing. I felt like now I have something to offer to these people, and I felt like I could provide some value in my content for these people. And not every piece of content I put out even got a subscriber to my email list, but like if it provided value to someone, I may never know. I may never know that person's life that I changed, and they may never tell me, and that's okay. But I just think about what you're putting out there, put out something with some value, and there will be people out there who get value in that they may never follow you, and that has to be okay. Because at the end of the day, if it becomes all about the money and less about helping people, like you've already lost. I don't know where I read that or saw that, but it really does change the way that you view this. It can't be just about the money. It has to be about helping. And if it's not about helping and it's only about the money, then you have not been successful.
Yeah. Oh, it's so true. I mean, yeah, the ultimate goal here is to make income, but in the process, we have to serve.
Right.
We have to connect. We have to grow a community. And that's the only way you'll actually get that last benefit that we're looking for. You know,
Right.
it's like if we walked into a game, if we're into sports, like I'm going to score, we're going to win by 42 points today in basketball or something crazy, right? And deciding what's going to happen at the end. But there's so much that has to happen for that to even occur in the process, right? In the middle of the game, we got to focus on in the moment right now. What am I going to do to connect with my audience?
And it
And
takes like some people longer. Like I was thinking about
yeah,
this morning, and if you think about it in terms of like a baby, okay? Some babies are born and at 12 months they're walking, and that's, common. Some babies are on their feet at 9 months, and that's like very uncommon, but it happens. And then you have some that take 2 years, and the reality is like some of these affiliate marketers are making 50 grand like right away, and then some take longer. Neither one of those are incorrect. Everyone has their own
right.
journey. For some, it's going to take a little bit longer, and there's nothing wrong with any of those things. Every day you get a little bit better, and that's all you can ask for. So if you keep working at it, you're not going to be in the same place that you were 4 months ago. I mean, if your content 4 months ago was not that great and today it's still not that great, well, guess what? It probably is still better than it was 4 months ago. If this is something that you're working on, you might not pick it up so quickly, and there's literally nothing wrong with that. You just keep working at it, and every day you're better, and that's all you can do.
Yeah, that comparisonitis will just beat you up. It will beat you up. And I love that analogy about kids walking. I have 3 kids. They all walked at different ages, but it didn't affect who they were, their success in life, or, as people. It just, that's a huge nugget. We just can't compare. And the same thing goes with, you can't try to copy someone else's audience. You can't try, and that's why you can't copy their content.
Right.
Ultimately, you've got to find your people that you want to wake up and are excited to connect with and talk to, and have your own experiences of the day to share with them, that they're going to be like, oh, yes, she gets it. This is where I'm at.
Yeah. And this whole journey has been so fun because, you know, of course, I'm not volunteering. Okay. I mean, of course it's about the money. Ultimately, I'm not just going to do this just for kicks, but,
Right.
What I've learned from this stems far beyond the money. Like sometimes I watch these like negative comments about people who are like, oh, you know, my husband says like, when are you going to give this up? Because, you know, you haven't made money in whatever amount of time. It's like, I get that. But at the same time, I've learned so much more, even beyond that $7, but just in terms of like meeting people and the growth that I've had just from surrounding myself by people that are trying to be better, like even if I never made 5 cents through this program, or like what I've gained is so much more valuable than money.
Oh, I love that. I know there's a lot of people focused on in the comments right now on money and whatnot, but I hope you all stop and listen to what Melinda is sharing today. Just, it really comes down to that. There's so much more that you can gain, so much personal growth, so much stop playing victim and I'm going to figure this out one way or another, but I'm going to have growth. I'm going to learn. I'm going to apply. Let's answer the one question. What's my first video I post? They're stuck. They don't know it doesn't matter. Just post anything at this point, because it's one of a gazillion videos that you're going to make. So
yeah. And you become so much more comfortable. Like in the beginning, I would make these videos. Oh my word, it's actually so cringe. But like, I would just be like, you know, follow along from our side hustles. Like, I'm just like, it just so is not like who I am. And then someone gave me the best advice. They're like, okay, pretend that you were just talking to someone that you knows that needs this. And this is before I had audience. Okay. This is before I even figured out who I was talking to. He was just like, you got to think about someone in your life that you know. Don't think about a stranger. Think about someone that you know that needs this, what you have and what you have to offer, and pretend that you're talking to them. So, you know, don't be fake. Don't be just pretend that you're FaceTiming, hold up your phone and just tell that person, hey, if you want to make extra money, follow along. You don't have to, I don't have to be making these videos like I'm seeing, because some people can pull that off but I cannot pull it off. I can't. Not only do I feel ridiculous, but like, I'm like, okay, and the other thing, just throwing this out there, I don't know how people keep this a secret for so long. I had people following me that I knew very, very quickly. And this is not a big town that I'm from. And all of a sudden, I have like teachers like putting their head in my class. So, like, I found you on Instagram. Like, oh, and it's so funny because it was like in those moments where I'm like, okay, whatever I'm putting out there, this is my real reputation on the line. This is not the alternative. Like, this is not Melinda on the internet. This is like me person. I am a teacher at this Christian school. I cannot be putting out stuff that's not legit. Like,
right.
That's my job on the line.
You have to feel good about what you're putting out. No matter what it is, guys, you got to feel good about it.
The second that I knew that there are people that knew me, and not just internet me, but like real life me, that are like sticking their head in my class, being like, I saw you online. I was like, okay, I need to be, whatever I'm putting out there, I need to feel good about it, because I have someone that's going to ask me tomorrow if they can really make money with that, you know?
And man, you're hitting the algorithm, right? You're finding your people.
They're finding me. It's so funny. It did not take long. And on TikTok, you can see you can see who's like looked at your page, and I'd be like, oh no. And then it's like these students are like looking at my page. It was bad, but it made me realize very quickly, like, the stuff I put out there has to be legit, because people that I know, I can't just shut this off. And now it's like, in the past, people that I know that I'm doing this, and I was never, it's not like I was embarrassed. Okay. I would tell anyone I was doing an online journey, but it made me realize very quickly, like, what I put out there has to be true, first of all. And yeah, it's quite the journey, but I just say, just roll with it, just post.
Yeah, totally. Another way to think about it is, yeah, what would you say sitting down at coffee giving advice to a friend? What are the moments from your day that you text to someone else in your life? A sibling, a friend, a partner, that are like, you're not going to believe what just happened, right? Those little moments that you share, that's probably content that other people are going to relate to.
Yeah. And I sort of thought about my life, and when it goes back to even having a story and what you're going to put out there, I'm like, well, I don't really have a story. But then when you really start to like dive in, I'm like, wait a second, my life is actually fascinating. Like the stuff that I do, and it's not like, oh, to brag. It's like, I'm not saying everyone wants to do anything that I do, but like to make money, I literally have like thrown couches on the roof of my little Hyundai to sell couches. Like this, I'm like, not everyone wants to do that, but it's definitely interesting content. Everyone has stuff. Everyone's done funny things. Like you just have to be willing to take the time, sit down and think about it. Like, oh wait, yeah, no, you know what? I do have a very interesting life that people might be interested in watching. So you just can't be afraid, and you can't be scared that people will judge you, because like I said prior, no one is thinking about you quite as much as you were thinking about yourself. So just throw it out there.
Do it, and don't sit there and be like, oh, I can't, I have no story, I'm not interesting enough. You are. And this is where that self-growth comes in. You gotta attack that piece,
right,
to make this work. You gotta go all in, take action, be consistent, and know you're worthy.
Yeah. And it's so easy to compare. And I remember, 5 weeks in, I made my first like tiny little commission, which was a huge moment that I'm not even gonna talk about right now. But then it took 4 months. So like, let's just say 3 months later for me to even get a high ticket commission. And like in that time, after you get that initial buzz of that first small little commission, and then it kind of like wears off when you're barely even getting subscribers. And it's like, well, why? Like, why is, so-and-so able to make so much money and I can't? And then you just like get scrolling. It's like, well, what do all these people have? I'm like, okay, well, it's because they all go to the gym, and like, it's because, they all have tattoos, and I don't have a tattoo. So there goes that. It's like, it's the most silly stuff that you do. And, but I think at the end of the day, it really comes down to, are you being yourself, and have you figured out who you're out there to help, and is that your ultimate goal? So it's just funny. It's funny how we compare ourselves to other people.
Yeah, definitely. So I know you had done a little bit of affiliate marketing with a high ticket before you learned how to do it. And then you saw the $7 course and you dived in. What are some things that you really pulled that was like, oh, now I know, that you pulled from the challenge?
So I hadn't had any training at all. So there was no, that money that I made was from, it was a tool that I bought for my business, and I got a referral link. It's like, hey, if someone buys this, you're going to get money. So I was like, okay, perfect. So I literally made one video, an unboxing video, posted it, made the money. So I got the concept. I understand how it worked. But then when you take this 15-day challenge, it was more of like taking the time to sit down to really figure out, okay, well, what is all this about? Like, and then having those meetings with the business advisor, so you could like really put together what it is that you want to do and you're thinking. It really, sorry, I just realized there's a shadow here. When you figure that out, it really helps to sort of make a plan of like where you're going with this, what it is that you want to do. And I found that talking to people about it who like understand it really helped a lot. So I would say one of the most helpful things with the challenge was the business advisors.
It sounds to me, and speak more on this as I share, it sounds to me like, because you went in with the mindset of, all right, let's figure this out. Let's see if this is going to work, instead of going like, I don't want to talk to anyone. I'm not going to ask questions. I'm going to question everything. You went in like, let's really dive in and see if I like it. Let's really dive in and ask questions and see what this looks like if I were to take action.
Yeah, I think that's what you have to do, is you just have to like we're so skeptical in general. And like, I'm not saying I'm not a skeptical person, but the world is online. It is what it is. And if you don't believe that, then you unfortunately are very misled. So I did, like I said, it's just like, you can't go into it questioning every day, or like, even when you're not making money, it's like, oh, not making money, must be a scam. Like,
Right.
it's not how it works. Like, affiliate marketing is real. You
Mhm.
can make money with it or you can't. Like, anyone can do this. Stop questioning it and just try. Like, just keep working at it. You're not necessarily going to be rich overnight, you know?
Yeah. And it's okay to go back and watch videos. It's okay to go back to the days. And because all the steps are there, it's just so new.
Right.
It's just so new that sometimes you got to go back and review, and you're going to pull new nuggets and new pieces as you dive into this community more, as you dive into this world, this education more. So it's okay to watch day 3 again about how you're building your business online with a funnel and an autoresponder and finding a product. And it's okay, you know, it's okay to rewatch those things. And a lot of times people are like, I watched it once and that's it. I can't rewatch it. Go back, rewatch, take notes, and study it. You're learning a new skill.
I think that it's like, because it's not hard. You know, when you think about what you have to do, the initial, like when I was first setting up the funnel, I remember thinking, oh, no part of me ever thought this was a scam. I'm like, lies. Like, they say this is going to take 2 hours a day and I'm working 8 hours a day. I can't even figure out this funnel. Like, so it's like, it's not like every day is going to be so easy and you're just going to have things figured out. And, you know, but once, like, if I could really get something out there, it's like, once you get that part figured out, it becomes so much easier. So when you see, you know, an affiliate like Becca and she says, oh, it's so easy. It's because for her at this point, it is easy because she's been doing it for so long. She got her stuff figured out, and it just becomes easy. When you've been doing this for 6 months, it's not like suddenly affiliate marketing has changed. Affiliate marketing in itself has not changed. Maybe you need to change how, you know, sometimes TikTok likes long videos and sometimes they like short videos. It takes research. It's not like you can do the same thing for all these months and then expect results. Like, you have to watch what is changing. The internet changes, social media changes, but affiliate marketing in itself has not changed. It means the same thing today as it meant 3 years ago.
Yeah. And it's been around a long time and it's always going to be here because companies love to have help marketing.
Hey, I mean, why not? Why wouldn't you? If you could have, and you don't even have to be an influencer, but I mean, if you could have someone out there promoting your stuff for 10%, why not? Versus pay some ad agency like 30 grand, you know?
Right. It's cheaper in the long run. And every business that exists has to have marketing.
Right. But because
we all have to sell something and everybody has to be online.
Yeah. How is someone going to know that you're there? And the funny thing is that sometimes I see people write, I'm in so many of these groups and I just like spend all my days reading comments from people. Usually skeptics, but I find it quite entertaining because like sometimes I just like see, can I really answer that question? And people would be like, oh, you know, I'm really struggling to put out content. Why is no one hitting my funnel? It's like, well, how is anyone even going to know you exist? Like, no one's going to randomly search your name and your funnel someday out of nowhere. Like, people won't. It's like, you have a store, you want people to come to your store. Well, no one's coming to your store if they don't know your store is there. Right? And it works the same as if you have a brick and mortar, if you have an online business. If you have an online business, but you're not putting out content, well, no one's going to find your store. No one's going to find your funnel because your content. So when they say, oh, I don't make enough content, it's like, well, you've already answered your problem. Like, why are you asking this question? You know?
It's sharing a little bit. I'm on the struggle bus.
Yeah,
right? It's a little bit of a pity party, but I get it. And I want to remind everyone that's in the tech struggle right now, that's in the funnel section. They're trying to build their funnel. It's a season.
It is. And it
will end. Once you have it done, it's done. You don't have to keep doing this. You're not living in tech struggle forever with your business. It's just a really small piece of time. So just keep going, push through, get it out there. It doesn't have, there's no such thing as a perfect funnel. Just make sure all the steps work. It gets the person to the right spot, and just keep going.
Of
But
the
then
whole thing, that was hard. That was the hardest part. And I'm like, I want to say techie, like I get stuff. And I think that that's why when there was just one little thing and it had to do with my domain, and I don't know if I cried. I don't know if I was that dramatic, but like, I just remember thinking like they said this would take no time. And here I am 3 days later, my domain is not working. Like it was, I mean, it was such a little small error. It's fine now, but it took a long time. And again, you just have to, if I like thought, oh, well, maybe this isn't real or true, like maybe I would have quit. You know what I mean? But I just persevered because I knew it was, I know this is a legit thing. It's just sometimes you have tech problems, and that's life. So you just, once you get over that hump, and even if you don't even have your funnel set up, start your account. Like at the end of the day, like people are not necessarily going to start clicking your link when you have 100 followers anyway, you know? So it's just start putting out your content, and it shouldn't even be all about your link in the beginning anyway. You want to start off by creating an audience, creating value for people. And, you know, you don't have a link there, no big deal. Well, guess what? Now you have 1,000 followers, you still don't have a link. You throw up your link without even telling people they're going to click your link, because you've already provided so much value in that content that you've provided that they're naturally just going to be like, oh, I think I'm going to go see what this person has to offer, because what they're throwing out here is pretty amazing. So just, even if you're not done your funnel, even if like you're just like waiting to start because you're like, oh, I don't have everything set up, just roll with it. Just start. My first Instagram post was 7-ish days after I bought the course. I wasn't even done the course. And it was a video of my dog. I didn't even know what I was doing. And it was like, oh, imagine you're at the beach and you only work if you want to. Like, it's just so funny. It had no call to action. It had no point. I don't even think it was a trending audio. And I don't even think I knew what that meant. Like, it was just a cute song that I liked. And my dog in slow motion. I thought it was amazing.
And then you made another one and another one and another one. And you're right. You can't sell to an empty room. You can't sell to zero audience. You have to build that community first.
Yeah.
You can be working on your funnel on the side. And when it's ready, put it up. There is no perfect, this is the checklist. This is what you have to do before you can make your first video. This is what you have to do. Like, do it messy and just go. It's just doing it is what's key.
Yeah. And I think people kind of love that. Like, I'm not at this point yet, but let's just say I'm making 10 grand a month. Well, people do scroll back to your first video. And if you have that first video there and it's so bad, I believe it's actually kind of encouraging. You'd be like, oh, okay. You know, they started there and now they're here. Okay, well, my video is gonna be better than that one, you know?
Yeah. It's all about imperfect action, but we got to just keep taking action. You can't think about thinking about it. You got to just do it.
Just go with it. And, you know, like I said, I posted, I think, even over 200 videos before I figured out. And if I figured it out, I have not figured it out. Like, sometimes I post this stuff and I get, well, you know, nothing from it. I don't get subscribers. I don't get, I'm not rolling in commissions every day. And I care. Of course I care, because like I said, I'm not doing this for volunteer, you know, I'm not just doing this for kicks, but sometimes you just have to just keep going. You just keep rolling with it. And I mean, you take affiliate like Steffi Chen, she has over 1,000 videos on there, and it took her a very long time to start making the kind of commissions that she's making now. But what happens is, for some people, it just takes longer, and it takes you longer to figure out who you're talking to. And you don't need like, your audience can kind of change over time. You know, you don't need to know everything when you put that first video out there. You just have to post it, and you know, you might feel embarrassed, whatever, just post it. You're not going to be embarrassed when you're making 10 grand a month.
Exactly. I love that. When that check hits the account, who cares what video one was, right? Just keep going.
But I made it was my first low ticket. It was like literally $2. And I walked in the office at my school. I was like, guys, like, I just made $2. And like, they're all kind of like looking at me like, okay. But what they didn't see is that I've been working for 5 weeks, like, you know, posting videos every day. I didn't care that it was $2. I was just like, hey, if I could make a $2 sale to a stranger, I can make a you know, $1,000, $2,000 sale. I just needed that one sale. So that moment was just like beyond. Like I had a legit tear in my eye. I'm not even an emotional person, but I had like tear in my eye for that $2 sale way more than that first blueprint. Like I just can't even explain that feeling. Like they're all just like looking at me, but it was so much more than $2. It was about the fact that I did it. Like I made content and someone came to my store and a stranger bought something from me. Whoa. You know, it didn't have to be a big thing. I just needed to show my first goal was make one sale, and I did it. And that was,
you just keep going from there.
You just keep going.
Yeah, just keep doing that. Keep going, keep building community, keep working on building connection.
Right.
Don't switch your focus. When the first sale happens, don't be like, all right, everything's going to be link in bio. We're going to sell hard now. I got a buyer, so we're going to like, don't make that switch. It's going to kill your connections. They're
right.
Like, oh, she just turned
it's door-to-door value sales. First. Definitely like value first, and they're naturally going to want your offer if you start with value.
Yes. Love, love, love. All right. This has been amazing. And I want to leave you with the last word, the last piece of advice for everyone that's listening today. What is your advice to somebody that's in the very beginning of the challenge, who has all the worries, all the worries, all the concerns, stuck in that, I can't do this, I can't afford that, I don't know if I can go on camera, I don't know if I have enough time.
Okay, if you're like, it depends. Like if you're someone that's already bought the course versus not, let's say you haven't even bought the training. Let's just say you're sort of figuring it out. It's like, first of all, what's $7? Okay. The $7 in itself, even if you don't go beyond, even if you don't, and this is not me saying don't buy the blueprints, they're fantastic, but even if you don't, even if you just start with that $7, it literally will open your mind to a whole realm of possibilities. You know, wherever I end up down the road, I will always come back and say it started with this. Because if it had not been for that $7 training, the community in itself, okay, that's actually something else I would throw out there. Find friends that are doing this. One of my absolute closest friends, I want to say even now in my life, I've met in April through Legendary, and even flew to Reno to see her this summer. I met her right away, like right in the beginning, and the encouragement and the motivation that came from her, like it really helped me so much. And so I would suggest that also. Find yourself people that are in the same place as you, some that are in the beginning phases, and you know, some that maybe have already made some money, because the community alone in this group is unbelievable. Like all these people that are just trying and pushing and trying to be better. Like you want to surround yourself with those kind of people and not with people that are just like, you know, weighing you down. So I would say start with the training, find yourself a community, and just post. Don't be afraid of what people think, because people are not thinking as much as you might think that they are. Don't be scared to be judged. You just have to go with it. And it's amazing how much you will grow every single day just by trying.
Yeah, I love it. Just keep trying, guys, and be open. Have that open mindset of what's possible instead of what's not possible.
Right. And I just will like end this because this is so full circle, but the whole goal was to like make money so I could be away and make money. And my first high ticket commission, I was in Reno, Nevada on the way to the beach. And I was like, oh, I did it. Like I in that moment, I'm like, this is it. Like I figured it out, and you know, we'll see where it goes. But having that moment literally on the way to the beach, I'm like, I have arrived. I have everything that I wanted is here. This is it. And you know, we'll see where this takes me, but it's just fun. It's a fun journey. And what do you have to lose? Like nothing, you know, you have so much to gain and so very little to lose. Even if you take the $7 training and you do nothing with it, even it's just
You're going to learn something about life, about yourself, something. You've had some level of growth.
Yeah,
Just by going
exactly.
through the process. Yeah, for sure.
This has been so fun. Is it an hour? Like this, I was so
Almost, yeah, we're 50 minutes, Melinda. 50 minutes is where we're at. You're killing it.
oh
This
my
has been
gosh.
amazing. So
This
much
has been so
value.
fun.
If you came in late, guys, please go back and watch. I love all that you've shared. So authentic. Finding your audience. Things don't happen overnight. You got to put in the work. There's going to be bad days. There's going to be great days. You just keep going. And so many nuggets today. You have to come back. I definitely want progress. I would love for Dave to meet you as well. He would love to chat with you, for sure. So please come back. We'll definitely have you
I
back.
mean, please invite me back. Before I started, I'm like, how do they even know I can carry conversation? Like none of these people know.
We don't. We invite and we roll because it's really easy to just share your own story. That's
Yeah,
why we don't prep anyone. There's no topics. There's no, you can't talk about this. You only can talk about that here. It's share your story, your experience, and that's it. And it can't be wrong, just like in your own content, right?
this is amazing. It's been so fun. Thank you. It was definitely motivating to be invited to come on here.
Oh, love it. Well, I'm glad you came and you have to come back for sure.
Thank you so much. It's been awesome.
Yeah, my pleasure. All right, guys, please go follow Melinda on Instagram at Make Money with Mel, but the with is just a W. So Make Money W Mel, MEL, all together, no spaces, no hyphens, anything like that. Instagram, you will find her Make Money W Mel. We're back tomorrow with another amazing guest because they all are amazing. They're all authentic with real stories, real journeys that they come on here and share. And there's so much value that you can pull from these if you're open to learning instead of being stuck in what I can't do. Focus on what you can do, regardless of where you are in your education and what you can do moving forward. There's always something you can do, an action you can take to progress your business, progress your education and knowledge and your mindset each day. So have a great Wednesday. And as always, stay legendary. Peace.